Welcome back to another Monday night, everybody. And tonight's main topic of conversation, people get really, really mad. Like, I'm talking mad about this at the boot sales. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It's Monday night again. And guess what? I'm on my own. Belle's not, well, Belle is here, but she's just got back from Paris on a hen do, like literally a couple of hours ago, and she's absolutely done in. So it's just little old me. You're just going to have to manage with just me. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry for all the disappointment. I know you must be absolutely gutted. I'm seeing lots of people in the chat. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're all good. I hope eBay is doing okay for you, or maybe Vinted's doing better. That seems to be the theme at the moment, doesn't it? We're going to say hello to as many people as possible in the chat. So get your hellos in. Even if you've never said hello before, now's your chance. Put it in the chat. I'll give you a little shout out as we go along. We've got 2 minutes to say hello to as many people as possible. So please get your little hellos in, even if it's the only thing you say for the entire show. It's absolutely fine. And I'm just getting ready because we've got a 2-minute track to play. Here we go. Let's see who's in. Let's go back to the start. James D, it's Monday again. Angel Delight, Resell for Rescue. And Zebu is here. Deborah Nardine, Helen. Oh, Deborah Sardine, I mean. Helen, Lin. Brummy the Time Lord, Ian G. We've also got Paul Baker, Mark Hill, Fluffy the Muffin, See What You Buy, Ian, Ems Den, Hillary Rhodes, Phil, Kez, Kevin Hawthorne, all the way from Florida. Always welcome, Kevin. Alex's Retro, Ian. I've said Ian, haven't I? I've said all those people. Left-handed. Who else we got? Come on. Dan is here. Ali Evans. Rosie, Pitco, Cheryl, ABL, Tap Peddler, Derek. Demise Family, welcome, guys. Richard Payne, Speedfoot, Jeff. Lots of people in. Come on, get your hellos in. Don't let me get to the bottom in 2 minutes. Alk Nax, Dan. The Gentleman Marketeer is in. Soph's Vintage. Listening in the background. Who else? Nozka. Chris Tyler. Michelle. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for saying hello, especially as I'm on my own tonight. The Legend. Vinted is dead for Alex's Retro. And I will come back to some of your chat points. List says hello. Interesting name, channel name. David Miller, welcome to you. Is that it? Have we reached the bottom? Is that everybody? If you're watching and you've not said hello, why not? That's it. Time's up. Time is up. You've missed out on a shout out from the infamous car boot, Chris. I'm sorry about that. It's your own fault for not getting involved. You know who you are. You sat there and you're going, I'm not saying hello. I'm not saying hello. I'm too shy. Give over. You've only got to type it. Come on. Anyway, never mind. You're welcome whether you say hello or not. let's go back a bit through the chat because there was a couple of little points that I wanted to bring up. Let me see. Don't forget I'm on my own, and there's 74 of you so far, so it is a little bit more difficult. Just wait a second. Ian G says number one topic: eBay is floundering. Ooh, interesting. Is it floundering? I've had some consistent. I think I've had 5 or 6 consistent weeks of not bad, not amazing, but equally so not terrible. So I'm kind of like I'm okay at the moment, but no doubt I'll have a terrible week soon because that is the way it goes. It'll be interesting to see if everybody else thinks that eBay is floundering right now. What's a good word? Said long story short, Rob. Hello to Rob as well. What's a good word? Floundering is a good word, isn't it? Let's go back through. Tap Peddler. Hello, eBay Gummers. I'm still waiting for eBay Gum to come on the podcast. They might have missed out. Who else we got? Let's see. Was there any other comments that I needed to? Oh, there you go. Alex's Retro. I did mention it. Vinted dead for me, even with Spotlight. eBay's going strong. You see, you just don't know because it's so random. It's very up and down. It's good for some people and not for others. And then the following week, it'll be good for someone else. Noska says, hi from Les and Denise. I thought I said Les Dennis then. Les and Denise, you bought offers at Runcorn. Oh, brilliant. What did I buy from you? Just remind me. I've been a few times now, so remind me what I bought from you, Noska, and I'll no doubt remember, or probably not, because my brain is 47 almost years old. There's a lot of things that don't last 47 years, but luckily my brain is still going. I think they've overcomplicated it. You could be right there, Noska. There's definitely something in that. We've been saying it for a long time. eBay seemed to be running at about 50% sales, says Pitco. Well, I guess it's better than 40% sales, innit? Is flounder the fish they use for fish and chips? Is flounder from Nemo? Flounder's that big. Is it the yellow and blue fish? Is it from Nemo? Can't remember. Tam's been having a tough time on eBay this last few weeks, so let's see what Tam's got to say. 3 weeks in a row, under 400 on eBay, with this shaping up to the worst yet. Struggling to make a full-time living at the moment. Oh, Tam, what can I say? I thought it would have perked up by now, if I'm honest. You've had a really bad few weeks, so I do feel for you. It's horrible when it gets like that because you just don't know how to turn it around sometimes. Fingers crossed for you. Oh, bought the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs, yes. Hang on a minute. Which though? Because there was one recently where I bought 3 Jurassic Park dinosaurs, but then there was a time before where I bought some. Was it Schleich? Some Schleich dinosaurs. I think I bought like 3 from a store, and like a Triceratops head. It was a Nemesis Now head. So which one were you? Was you the 3 Jurassic Worlds that I bought recently, or was it the one with the Nemesis Now on it? And then that narrows it down. Paul Rose is in. Ready Steady Retro, Antoinette as well. Paul says no sympathy. Mine's 54. Oh, 54-year-old. 54. Flounder is a flat fish, quite tasty, but lots of tiny bones. I did not know that, Jeff. I didn't even know there was a fish called a flounder. I thought it was just something on Disney. Pitco 2025, the worst eBay's been in many, many years. You probably, from most of the anecdotal stuff and from my own experience, it's definitely been the most unpredictable. And yeah, we'll see at the end of the year how bad it's been, but I'm hoping it turns itself around. Sophie has said, I've had a few sales on my eBay this week. Vinted still going okay. Richard said eBay's been doing very well last couple of weeks, but before that was slow. Flounder was a great character from Animal House. Never seen that. Nozka says, I do all right marketplace, struggle on eBay. Oh, I can't be doing a marketplace. I really can't. Married to Reselling are here. Hi, guys. Oh, it's Little Mermaid. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Dan. Yeah, I knew it was Summit. I can picture the fish, but I just couldn't picture which film it was. Oh, okay, I was at the last table as you go out, took a big bundle. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for joining us anyway. Not a clue, Rob. Not a clue. There's lots of words that make no sense in the English language. Loads of flounders to be caught in the sea. Didn't know that. Let's have a look. ABL says eBay sells rubbish at the moment. Decided to cheer myself up, booking a holiday. You're back at the Seychelles again. Bloody hell, he's earning too much money. You're saying the sales are rubbish. You're back at the Seychelles. It's a contradiction in terms. eBay up and down. I won't talk about the last bit. Unlucky for you. Deborah Sardine talking about fish. Here we go. Car boot find. 2 Winstanley cats. I don't know what one of them is, but it sounds good. For £3 yesterday. Sold them today for 90. My brain is 60 in 3 weeks' time. 60-year-old brain. Think of all the knowledge in there. The problem is, well, as you get older, your brain might have a lot of knowledge, but it's whether you can hang on to it or not. Slow for Derek. Well, Derek's normally always doing all right, isn't he? And Derek's even slow, so things must be bad. John says, hi, Chris. Met you on Sunday at the junction. Nice to meet you. Debs was over the moon. Oh, nice one, John. Brilliant. It was, John, what was it? Tex? Did you say your name was Tex? Am I getting the right person? I might have absolutely completely butchered that. Did you say Tex or is that somebody else? Because I did say hello to a couple of people at weekend. Oh, Mauritius. Oh, sorry, it's just Mauritius. Thailand in Feb. My brain is 36, but I've blasted it quite a bit over the years. Demise, all platforms have been slow this week. I only went out buying on Friday and skipped the weekend car boots. Needed to get through what I have already. It's a good point, that Demise family, because I'm trying my best not to source other than at the boot sales, because I've seen loads of bundles of wholesale stuff that I could have bought. I am going to buy a bundle soon, but I'm trying just to do the boot sales. I'm trying not to source on Vinted. I'm trying not to snipe and anything like that. Because like you say, I have got so much stock to work through. What I want to do this year in general, I really want to focus on what I have already that's not listed and try and sort of shift some of that rather than keep spending on stock. That way, try and make my profits a little bit better. Last year, I don't know if you remember me saying, but I was striving last year to try and make my my total year end expenses at 50%. So basically 50% profit is what I was aiming for. So if I did a total turnover of 80 grand, I wanted to try and aim for my expenses to be at 40, so that my overall profit was obviously 40. I wanted to get that 50% mark. It's incredibly difficult. I think there's not many resellers who can actually achieve it, But this year, I'm going to strive for it. I really am. I'm going to limit I go through phases like just before, like the change of the tax year. I spent over £1,000 on clothing stock, and really that absolutely killed my some of my sort of profit levels for that year. I know I've got a lot of it in stock, but that stock then sits there and doesn't get worked on. So what I need to do is work through stuff and make sure stuff is listed before I start buying too much. But I am saying that I will go to boot sales and buy at boot sales, but I'm just going to try and not get all the big clothing job lots as much as I have done in the past. I'm really aiming for that 50% profit, even if I can only do it for 1 year. It's incredibly difficult. It's more difficult now, I think, than it ever was, because the fact that people are asking more for their items. Even at boot sales, the prices are higher at boot sales now. The prices at charity shops are higher. Wholesale is probably higher as well. So all the prices are going up. But what we can actually get for our items is roughly the same, I think, as what it has been for a long time. Like on average, roughly the same kind of prices. So yeah, it is squeezing the profit margins a bit. But yeah, I totally feel you there. Definitely work through your backlog before buying more. Phil says the coins are still doing well for him. Ian G, married to reselling, pointed out. Today I had a sale. I already knew that USA had been stopped. I never made a video about it or anything, but I noticed it that I'd not had any. But today I had a sale, USA via GSP. Someone bought a bundle of PSP movies, I think, or games. PSP movies, I think, the UMDs. Someone bought a bundle. They're going to the USA. So it looks like potentially, at least they're slowly turning it back on. But I definitely had a sale today, GSP USA. So potentially it could be back on today. I hope so. Anyway, I used to get quite a few sales to the US. Sending the sales fairies to Tam. How did I do this weekend? At the boot sales, not too bad. Yeah, I got some nice stuff. Yeah. It did. eBay paused the USA whilst they sorted out the tariff stuff. But to be fair, I would think it would be quite an easy fix, because the tariffs don't apply to anything under £800, and that's the let's be honest about it. That's the majority of things being sold on eBay. I think if we looked at the percentage of items on eBay worth over £800 that people have for sale available on GSP, I bet it's not much. So why don't they just say anything over £800 you can't even sell there? Why don't they just do that? Just for now, just do it as a cut-off with the number. That would be the easiest thing, wouldn't it? Surely that's the simplest thing to do. I would have said anyway, but that's just me being like logically thinking, which some people don't do. List. One sale at the weekend, but had an outstanding return where someone ordered the wrong wallpaper. Item was returned today and issued a refund. I've had 5 sales today. Well, at least you've got movement on your account, which is good. There you go. Dig Vintage says the same. I really don't understand how difficult it would have been for eBay just temporarily while this tariff thing got sorted out, because I think it will. It'll get sorted out. It has to. Just have the cap on the sales value. Anything over £800 you can't send via GSP. Simple. Job done. There you go. Give me a job. Is it? I mean, I'm sure it's not that simple, but to me, it looks that simple. Well, is it not that simple? Someone tell me it's not that simple. We are, Dan. We are all very, very addicted to buying stock. The problem with me is when I buy stock, some of it I want to keep as well. And that's when you start getting into hoarder territory. And I don't want to get into that territory. I'm already trying to sell stuff. Bitco, Marie's eBay is operating on 50% less sales in... Whoops, a daisy. What happened there? than it used to for me. Even if I work the numbers, I'd need to list at least another 600 items to get my sales back to where they was. But I have a plan, a cunning plan. Cheers, Noska. See you soon. Maybe we'll buy something from you in the future. Hi, Tracy. The Bad Cat Cafe is in the house. Robert Anthony is in. And Well, I had a sale today, and when I saw it, I thought, "Ooh, GSP to the US is back on." I'm hoping it is. You should buy as much stock as you can on the last day of the tax year, surely. Lower profit is lower tax. Yeah, but the problem is, Flip and Phil, that's all good and well, but if it all just goes and sits in your garage or sits in your loft and it takes a year to get listed, I'd rather just have the money in the bank. I'd rather have the profit. There is a limit. When your house is full and when your garage is full, you do have to just stop buying, and you have to actually start making some money. You have to make some money. That's the game we're in. I don't want to just keep putting. I'm at the point now, I've been going for 10 years now at this. I'm at the point now where I don't need to keep investing in stock. I want to actually sell. I want to make profit, and I want to spend that money in my personal life. Like, I want to go on a nice holiday again. In a few months, me and Belle want to go on holiday again. So I want to make profit. I want to make money. So at some point, you have to say, enough's enough. I've got enough stock to work on. Now's the point. I've got so much stock. Don't need to buy any. What I do want to do is have some profit and go and use it for stuff like paying for gas and electric, because you need your profit for that. Good weather makes it slower time. Yeah, there's probably something in it. I tell you what I have had, and I mentioned it in our Discord this week. In 1 week, in this last 7 days, I had 7 cancellations on eBay. Now that is unheard of. Now and again, I might get one a month. I might get one a month where somebody buys something, pays for it, and then cancels. I had 7 in a week. What is that all about? 7 cancellations after payment, not even before payment. So it's not so bad when it's before payment, but after payment, 7 cancellations in a week, an average of 1 a day for a week. What is that all about? How and why is that happening? I always think when something like that happens, it's like, what's going on eBay? Like, I know you can't control buyer actions and what they do and stuff, but sometimes it makes me think that there's something going wrong in the process where somebody's bought something and to cause them to pay for it and then cancel it afterwards. Is it this whole, are we going to see more cancellations because of immediate payment? It kind of like forces people to pay, and then when they have a rethink, they cancel. I don't know, but 7 in a week, I ain't never had that many. That's on average. That's about 6 months worth probably for me. I don't get many cancellations. Someone buys something, they usually follow through with it. To have 7 in a week was a lot, and that kind of comes out. You think you're doing well, and then you've had 7 cancellations. You think, oh, if they'd have carried on, I'd have had a half decent week. Shabba says, never had so many items in my store. To how poor the sales have been. Crazy potential recession times. Happy birthday for Shabba for last Saturday. Oh, have we done happy birthday for Shabba? Don't think we did. I'm losing my voice here because Bell hasn't bought me a drink. I'm losing my voice. Spitting feathers. Where's my happy birthday gone? It's vanished. There is no happy birthday. It's completely gone. Brilliant. No, there it is.
Happy birthday! Woo!
Happy birthday, Shabba. Hope you had a good week. Well, as far as your birthday goes. Maybe eBay's not great, but Oh, Emsden sold at boot sale. Yeah, you've done a few sales at boot sales recently, haven't you? Trying to earn something to make up the shortfall. Had years with no sales days, and then this year several in a month. Channel M's in the house. Seashells. She sells car parts. The £800 rule was scrapped, and it's applicable to all imports now, which is why this. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, it seems to be back on because I had one today, so it's a bit random that I had one today. I don't know what's going on with these tariffs. I just read that there was an £800 rule on it, but who knows? Anyway, at least you'd know a bit more than me. Stupid, innit? Stupid. Bloody Trump absolutely messed up all my stocks and shares. It's close to recovering now though. I'm up to like 35% gains again. I was as high as 42. I've said it before. Before all the bloody tariff stuff, I was on 42% gains, and it went down to 20%. I got halved. Absolutely killed me. I'm back up to 35, so we're almost recovered. By the way, when we've recovered, I'm going to make some changes on my stocks and share portfolio because I don't want to be caught out like that again. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to invest in something that wasn't really affected by it, and I'm going to put more of my percentage into that in the hope that will help level out any future issues and not be as bad. It's all a bloody guessing game though, isn't it? Soph said 3 eBay sales, 2 Vinted, 1 Depop. Awaiting payment. Okay, well, you've had some sales. That's something, isn't it? It's more than some people have had. Speedfoot, low sales this month so far, but luckily a couple of big hitters. That's good. I think things will get better as interest rates drop. Seems want to bring them down. I'm not sure what that last part of the sentence is, Zebu, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. Bad weather is due, sales to go back up. Jay's crepes are in. Interesting. No, you don't need to stop buying, get a warehouse. No, thank you very much. No, I've got this much desire for a warehouse. That much. I do not want a warehouse. No, thank you. That will definitely hurt me. That will definitely stop the 50% profit target. That's my one and only target this year, 50% profit at the end of the year. That's all I'm going for. Alex says there's a scam going around with instant cancellation when they ask to say don't cancel it, please send it, and then they try and confuse you and get it for nothing. I've had 5. Nobody's done that to me, Alex. They've all just been cancellations, like auto ones where they've gone through eBay's process to cancel it. I've never had a message from any of them. Interesting though to know. People buy new cars on credit. It doesn't leave them any money for things on eBay. That's a very general sort of view on why eBay's quiet. I would say that the percentage is fairly slim on that, Dan. Ian says the GSP thing has made me look at direct shipping, as I do sell a bit of vinyl to the US. It'll probably cost the customer less and lead to better sales. Probably, Ian, yeah. It's certainly worth a try, but it could well be back on today. So, like I say, I had one. Pitco says its decision when sooner buys an item at eBay checkout shows them other sellers selling the same item. Yeah, this is what, Keith, this is what I was talking about. Is there some kind of process on eBay that is causing cancellations? And like for every change that eBay makes, there's an equal and opposite reactionary change, isn't it? It's the law of whatever, but it also applies to eBay. where every action has an opposite reaction. And I always believe in that kind of thing. Like eBay just make one little change. Oh, let's put some adverts on the checkout page when somebody's bought something. We'll recommend them similar items. And what they do is then, as a result of that change, somebody sees something they've just bought cheaper, so they do an immediate cancellation. I genuinely think that's probably what is going on right now. The flip side is, yeah, eBay get a bit of advertising, but it's causing cancellations left, right, and center. And you are probably right there, and that's what I was looking for. That mechanical change that has probably caused these things to happen. Paul says, I bought some items at York Car Boot. Oh, did you think he goes there? Was it York Racecourse? I'm sure Demise family go there. You bump into him. eBay Live, is that something that we need to talk about, Zebu? List had a really good shoe sale on Vinted today. Sold really fast and good, not paying seller fees. I find on Vinted that after a week your item gets no views and sits in your store. Yeah, unless somebody searches, just like eBay, somebody can just search something specific and it comes up with yours. It's still search worthy. But yeah, I think unless you've got like a unique item that someone wants. Soph says, Trump messed up my stocks and shares too, and I withdrew it. Oh, Soph, you shouldn't have withdrawn it. You shouldn't have withdrawn it. I mean, it's not financial advice, but when you get a real bad dip, you just got to ride it. And if anything, try and buy when it's in a dip. I carried on buying. I put in £50 a week to buy, so £200 a month, and I just invest that. And it's automatic, goes into my portfolio, and it gets split between all the different shares that I've got. So when the dip came, I was still buying at my £50 worth, but I was getting stuff a lot cheaper. Okay, stuff I already had bought, I bought expensively, but now it's recovering now. So it's my gains are back up to sort of 35%. I'm only 7% off what I was before the tariff messing. Yeah, so it's close to recovering. And when I get close to 40% gains, I'm going to make a change on my portfolio. I don't want to do it now because I'll be selling and losing money on a lot of shares. But when it gets close to 40, when I'm almost back to what I was before, I'm going to sell and buy in a different stock that was barely affected at all by the tariff thing. I'm just going to even it out a little bit. That's my plan anyway. I'm just waiting for it to get close to the 40 again. Dan had a buyer from Greece this week. Greece. I had a Japan buyer. Don't often get Japan buyers, but when I do, they don't spend a lot of money. Like postage wise, Japan must be one of the most expensive places to send to. Obviously, because it's freaking halfway around the world, isn't it? Bought some items at York Car Boot to sell on. The last few weeks, I do it part-time, some full-time. Resellers who post on YouTube gave me the death stare because I got the items first. Oh, what kind of stuff did you get, Paul? I think the good weather makes it slow. People are out and about. I've also shopped less online the last 2 weeks as we're always out. Yeah, fair comment. Fair comment. My weekly sales have been pretty consistent for 5 or 6 weeks now. So I'm hoping when the rain comes at the weekend, it's going to get even better, according to everyone's predictions. Shopify, I've done nothing more on it, so that's why I never give myself challenges like we did last week, because I've been way too busy doing house stuff, painting, decking, and all sorts of things. I've been doing, buying dartboards, trying to sell vans, selling bikes, fixing the house, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, Shopify at the moment, it's not high on my list, but it needs to be because I'm paying every month now for that, and I need to think about actually doing something with it. I might focus on it at the weekend. I don't really do work at the weekend if I can help it, apart from boot sales and stuff, but I might have to put a bit of time into it at the weekend. Our event at eBay's been mental this weekend in a good weekend. Sent out 12 parcels twice today, so 24 parcels out the weekend. Some low end stuff, but good to see the activity. Absolutely. Just take it. Take it. Even if it's low end, take it. There you go. Demise family do go there. York Race Course is where Dig Vintage get 90% of their stock. There you go. And Demise also go to Wigington. Is that where Paul went? Wigington. There you go, yeah. Yeah, it's all a learning curve. I didn't have a clue what I was doing when I was first, early doors investing. I still don't really know much, but I invest relatively safely. But also having gone through the COVID period where I had a serious wobble where I almost sold everything and took a big loss. I decided not to, and it was the right thing to do because in the long term, it normally bounces back, almost always bounces back eventually. What's this? Our event. In the contrast to the tariffs, great to see someone opening up our economy to the EU again. Will be good for the economy and business. I hope postage opens up soon. Be interesting to see what that's all about. I'm skeptical. Oh, Paul got a Doctor Who box Cyberman and box Star Wars 1997 Han Solo. And I don't even know any of that. If it were cheap enough, I'd buy it because it's collectible. But ultimately, I don't really follow Doctor Who, and I definitely don't follow Star Wars. But hopefully, you got some good deals. I do know Kenner though, so yeah, I do know it's a good brand to get. Netflix did well on the stock market. Tariffs don't affect them. That's interesting to know. Not noticed that one. Resell for rescue. Since lockdown, things have changed. People are spending less on extras. Holidays have shot up in price and everyday costs are squeezing everyone. That is true. All of those are true. Totally true. Secret Carper's hoping to move in 4 weeks. Good luck with that one. This weekend, the weather is looking like rainy. For the first time in a while. It feels like it's been a long time since we had any rain, unfortunately. So it's coming this weekend, I think. I think Friday is our last day of good weather. Let me just have another look. So I did look earlier today. Yeah, we've got nice weather all the way up to Friday. Nice sunny weather. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, rain, 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 rain. So back to normal service resumed on Saturday. See, when the weather's really nice, I'm really reluctant not to do the boot sales because they're the days when you get the best stock, when it's great weather and there's loads of people selling. Because then you get a weekend like the weekend coming, and it looks likely that the boot sales could be rained off, which it's not a bad thing because it forces me not to go and spend, but also it's a weekend lost in sourcing, isn't it? But yeah, sometimes I know it sounds bad, but sometimes I think, oh, it'd be nice if if they were called off this weekend because I got plenty of stock and then I don't have FOMO. Does anyone else feel that way? Like you don't want to get that FOMO, so you're kind of hoping it rains for everybody else. That's really selfish, isn't it? That's really bad. I bet some of you also think like that, though. Like those days that you can't be asked go and you're thinking, I hope it rains in the morning so I don't have to get up. Tell me that you don't think like that. I don't believe you. Oh, hang on a minute. What have I missed there? Cheryl says, what platform or website does everyone use to invest in the stock markets? I use Moneybox. I've used them for a long time. I have other accounts with them as well. You can have other accounts. It's they do like stocks, shares, ISAs, stocks and shares, ISA, savings accounts. You can even do the mortgage. You can even get a mortgage through them as well. Moneybox is the one I use, and they're covered as well through the financial authority thing up to 85 grand. So you have got that sort of coverage. Whereas, like, I did start investing in, all the Bitcoiny stuff, but most of the apps that you invest with, they don't give you any financial coverage, and that worries me. So I started investing in all that, in what do they call it? Crypto. I started investing in all that crypto stuff. And it was shit, basically. And I know I didn't give it a lot of time, but I was also worried that, like, if a platform went down or went bust, I was going to lose my money. So I wasn't happy about that. A lot of them, I think one or two might be, but I think a lot of those crypto platforms, they don't cover you in the UK. I think they do in the US. Some of them are covered in the US by the financial authorities, but here in the UK, most of those cryptos are not covered. If they go bust, you are not going to get your money back. We're in Devon and Cornwall last week, traveling around lots of different places. Said to my hubby, you and Belle lived in Torquay. Oh, Torquay's lovely. Yeah. There's some lovely places on that coast. Dawlish, Warren, Teignmouth. That's nice. Even Plymouth. Plymouth is lovely, People, when we moved down there, people said to us, oh, don't go to Plymouth. It's a dump. Plymouth is lovely. You got the Hoe on Plymouth. You got a few other bits and bobs on there. I forget the names of them now. The Barbican on Plymouth, that is lovely. Really nice. Yeah. So many places along that coast. Should always live by the sea. So I don't know why, but living by the sea definitely gives you a different feeling than living when we lived in Manchester to how we live now, and when we live down in Devon, which we're down by the sea as well. Kind of feels different that I don't know. I can't explain it. It does feel a little bit different. Swamp Picker's back in again. Louisiana. So who have we got in tonight? We've got North Carolina, Louisiana, Florida. Any other Yankees in? Let us know where you're from. And that's probably a really derogatory term. I'm sorry about that. Louisiana, North Carolina, Florida. Anybody else? Anybody else from the US? Please let me know where you are. I'm interested. Bad weather next week, camping trip. Typical, isn't it? Demise. Dambo is the worst for FOMO. I have a good lie-in. Nice one, Beth. Yeah. I've noticed that actually on your videos. I've noticed that sometimes you're not there and I'm thinking, yeah, she could not be doing with getting up for the car boot. Sometimes don't blame you. A bit like Belle. Belle can't be doing with it sometimes. Or sometimes she's just exhausted. She didn't want to do it anyway. Dan, we've been doing eBay for 12 months. I've been to one car boot in that time at Bolton. Where are you getting most of your stock from, Dan? Let us know in the chat. Retro Damers. Retro Damers. Welcome. Dan says trading 212. I had a trading 212 account. I switched over to Moneybox. I had both at one point, but I liked Moneybox a lot more. I like the what do you call it? Like the user interface and stuff. I did like Moneybox, so I kind of sold everything up on trading, and I went over there. Retro Damers is down in Cornwall. Lovely, lovely. Ems then said, we are the same, Chris. How far behind? I'm only about 2 minutes behind. We are the same, Chris. If it rains on a Sunday and we don't go to a boot sale, then we get to have a bacon sarnie in bed for breakfast. You lazy gets. You lazy buggers. I can't believe that. I bet it isn't bacon even. I bet it's sausage, because I know how much you two love your sausage. And that's not a euphemism. It's just that you like sausage, because you basically mention it in most videos. We do need a sausage count, a sausage counter. Just have it in the corner at the top of your videos. Sausage counter, a sausage counter in one corner, and a hun counter in the other. How many we got in right now? 117. Oh, welcome everybody. Any more Yankees in? Oh, flipping Phil's off to Mallorca. Raining there then too. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Typical, innit? You get all hyped up for going on holiday. Bloody raining. I'm sure it won't be that bad, flipping Phil. I'm sure you'll have some good days. Bound to. I mean, it's coming up to June. You're bound to have some good days in Mallorca. Tom said, ever tried drop shipping? Drop shipping, I think, is against eBay's T's and C's now, isn't it? I don't think they like drop shippers. Dan said, in the early days of Bitcoin, it took me 6 months to get my cash from Coinbase. Yeah. There was a lot of stuff about Coinbase, wasn't there? I remember something about that. Yeah, absolutely no protection. I know a lot of people say get into the crypto and all that, but I don't trust it. I know a lot of people made a lot of money, but I just think I'm bound to like invest and the bloody Apple go bust or something, and that'll be it. Bang. The savings rates on Moneybox are pretty good, Ian. Yeah, I've just opened a new savings account on Moneybox, and it's got a pretty good rate on it. And their stocks and shares ISAs are quite good as well, although it's going down a bit next month because of the interest rate change. But that's the same for everybody anyway. Yeah. Yeah, have a look into it, Cheryl. Definitely. It's not a dump. I liked it. Go and have a look round Manchester and tell me it's a dump. Compare it. The hoe and the Barbican are nice. They're the bits I stick to. Even I think Plymouth Town Centre's not bad. I mean, there are some dumpy parts of it, but same as any town centre, but at least a lot of the shops are open. Lee bought some stocks and shares in Rockstar. Share price dropped 9%. Hopefully it'll recover. It might drop again when they tell everybody it's going to be £100 a game. Lived on the hoe in a camper van for a year. Bloody hell. Sticking to property investment. Yeah, fair dues, yeah. I'd love to do a little bit of property investment, but I can't be bothered with the whole landlord thing and doing up houses. and not really well up on like sorting all that stuff out. But if I had a bit of enough excess money, I probably would like buy a house, do it up, rent it, or sell it, and move on to the next one. But no, I'm just not good at that kind of thing. Oh, wait, Channel Nem says I use Wealthify. Oh, I've not heard of that one. Wealthify. There you go. Get an extra bit of money when you open it up. Thomas says eBay are refusing to pay out my profits until I put my tax details in, which I won't do. So I've quit eBay as of today. Oh, that's a big, bold move, Thomas. Why won't you put your tax details in? What's stopping you? Don't understand. Oh, there you go. Dan says gets 90% from charity shops and Vinted. Oh, interesting. Oh, Swamp Picker says the term Yankee is used for anyone north of Tennessee. Okay, that put me straight. I didn't know. I know. Sausages all round. Dan got married to an American in Chicago. Worst $10 I've ever spent. Buttered sausage. Oh, that video is brilliant, isn't it? Buttered sausage. Love that. Pink Panther. Cry, Chris. I'm in Wolverhampton. I'm planning to retire in Towing, North. Towyn, you mean, Pink Panther? Towyn. Towyn, North Wales. That's literally over there. I could probably get a stone, throw it, and you'd be at Towyn. It's just there. And you get to go to Tier Prince every week. Not that that's anything to brag about, but yeah, it's all right. You can't beat chilling on the hoe. Less of Manchester being a dump. I lived there most of my life. I'm allowed to say it. Your position in crypto, yeah. I don't know if you're asking me, Raventa, but I sold out of all my crypto. I got out of there. I kind of got cold feet on it, and I just thought, I don't like this. I wasn't getting anywhere with it. Firstly, I mean, I didn't have it in for. I only had it in for like a few months. Nothing seemed to be happening. If anything, I was losing money. And also, I was reading a lot about how the apps are not covered. And when you look in the T's and C's in some of the apps, and it's like, oh, you're not covered. None of your money is covered. If the app shuts down or goes bust, you are done. See you later. See you later, all your money. Bye bye. I don't like that. I'd rather stick it in the stocks and shares stuff. Shabba says it can be a nightmare renting out, but there are months where I don't hear a peep out of the tenants and the money comes in with little effort. Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. I have considered it. There's some little bungalows that sometimes come up here just near us in Kimmel Bay. And there was one come up that was 140 grand. And I thought to myself, should we get it? Get like another mortgage? Put a hefty chunk down, like deposit wise, and buy it to rent out, or just do it as an Airbnb. I considered it because it was a pretty good price. It had been newly done up. It was literally ready to go. It was ready to rent. And it was cheap. It was only small. It was like a very small sort of maybe 2-bed bungalow, very small, like not a big one, but perfect for an Airbnb right near the beach. I wish I was a bit braver with stuff like that, just like jump in and have a go. I wish I was, but I know that it's not just a case of jump in and have a go, is it? Thought about it. I'll probably think about it until it's too late, and I can never do it. Let's try and get down to the bottom of the chat before we carry on, because I want to talk about what all this boot sale anger is, and what are people getting upset about. And I'll tell you what, you're not even going to guess it. In fact, you can guess now. Have a guess in it. Is my camera okay, by the way? I feel like I'm a bit weird on the camera. Is my mouth like moving right? have a guess in the chat. What am I talking about? Why are people getting so mad about this at a car boot sale? Have a guess. I bet you none of you can guess what I'm about to talk about. I bet you none of you can guess. Will you retire in North Wales? We've got no plan to move out of North Wales, Dan. I think we have like a 10-year plan for this house where we might downgrade it, downsize in 10 years as we get close to the point where, I'll start getting a part pension from the police. When we get to close to that point and we'll have paid off another big chunk of the mortgage, we might downsize at that point and try and pay off the mortgage. I think that is the plan. I would like to sort of, by the time I get to 60, I think I would like to be like mortgage free by hook or by crook. I would like to be in that position. Yeah, it is. There are some lovely parts in Manchester, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm generalising. It's about as much of a dump as it is for almost every other city in the UK. Silly sausage. That is a common term. We've used that before. The hoe and the bar becoming fantastic. Let's get down to the bottom. We can talk about it. Channel NEM, 140k property would need about a 10 to 20% deposit and get an interest only buy to let mortgage. I know. I'd love to be brave and just do it and sod it, and just have a go. But it is a bit overexposed, Jeff, isn't it? It is. It might just be this light here. It might just be a bit bright. Hang on. It's definitely a bit overexposed, isn't it? Definitely is. I don't know why. It feels it like on the... Let me... Just bear with me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can fix that. Because it is annoying me a bit how bright that is. It should not be that bright. I don't know which wire it is. I think that it's this one. Just bear with me. Oh, that's not right either. That's a different camera. Hang on, let's switch this one out. That's better. Isn't that weird? I've unplugged it and look at the exposure on that now. That's miles better, and my mouth isn't like a millisecond behind. Are we all right now? Are we right? Is that much better? I think that is. Andrew Moriarty's having a guess. Hi, Andy. Filming. No, incorrect. Good guess, but not right. Stolen tools being seized. Good guess again. I've had messages about that in my Instagram inbox, but no, it's not that. Tat trolleys. Nope. Good guess, Ali. Nice one. People getting annoyed at people trying to steal penguins. That's a predictable guess, Derek. Very predictable. Car boot anger stems from the car boot wanker. Low offers. Good guess. Fakes. Good guess. Any more? I see a lot of... Oh, you see a lot of tiki. Oh, damn. I need to come where you are. Louisiana. I need to go look around there. Hardly ever see any tiki here in the UK. When I do, I just buy it, even if it's terrible. Yeah, I'm friends with Jason, Swamp Picker. Me and Jason are friends. We've been to Vegas. We've spent time drinking with Jason. We've met up in Was it Atlanta? We met up in Atlanta. We went picking with him at Atlanta. There's a couple of videos with me and Jason on, and Stacey. People jumping in boots. No, Bargain Hunter UK. It's not jumping in boots. Try again. Chris's pizza table. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. It was overexposed. I don't know why it was doing that. Regular sellers in the future could need a trader's license. Well, that will kill boot sales completely, won't it? But I could see it coming. I could see them trying that. Bartering, not that, Chris. It's not bartering. Opening up stuff to look at contents. It's not that. It's not that. It's good. I knew none of you. It's impossible to guess. You'll never get it. I was going to offer up a prize to anyone who got it, but there's no point because no one is ever going to get this. But people get really mad about it, right? People get mad. And I'm going to prove it because I'm going to read something out from the Tinternet at how mad people get about this. The cost of a burger. I'll trust you to come out with that one. I thought you were going to say sausages. The cost. What is that noise? Did you hear that then? Oh, what that was? The house is falling down. I thought you were going to say the cost of sausages. Clickbait violence. No, it's not that. Poor quality sausage butties. Good guess. Sellers selling to each other before the public go in. Good, very good guess, Deborah Sardine, but it's not right. The rising cost of parking your car. Nope. Temu Tat. Amazon returns. Fake trainer sellers. No, 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 no. Smelly stall holders. No. Trying to pay with fake money. No. I checked the price on eBay. No. 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 Nobody can get it. Payment with 20. No. No. Tam is very close, and I'm going to give Tam half a point here. You're getting half a point. It's not quite right, but it's very, very close. Hey, there it is. You see, I had to give you a clue. Early bird. Early bird. Let's talk about this, right? Early bird. And there you go, Antoinette as well. Early bird buyers. That is what we're going to talk about. And I'll tell you why. Because I was scrolling aimlessly, like wasting my life away, scrolling on Facebook yesterday. And this post cropped up on one of the groups that I'm in. And let me just find it. Why didn't it stay open? I left the bloody page open. It's the Real Community Forum. And you know how, for any of you that are in these groups, these community groups on Facebook, oh my God, people lose their shit over some stuff. They really do. People like lose their head. People say things that they would never say to someone's face, but they write it on a community forum. It's mental. Let me just try and find this. I would not dream of writing some of the stuff on these forums. It's like, why do people feel the need to hang out their dirty washing for all to see? Why do people do that? Everyone chips in on an argument, don't they? Let me find the post because I had it open and it's reset itself. So it was only yesterday, so it can't be far away. Real Community Forum. Not much community about it, if I'm honest. But I think a lot of these community groups are the same. Oh, yeah, here it is. 115 comments on this post. Oh, get your popcorn. This is it. Come on, get your popcorn. Let's go down to the bottom to the most. Can I do it most recent at the top? No, let's do all comments. Let's get your popcorn. I don't think it's done it in the right order. I can't even get to the bottom of the list because this stupid scrolling thing. Let's go newest first and then scroll to the bottom. Right. This is what the post said. This is what the post said. And language warning coming up. I'm going to say it how it's written. So if you've got kids in the room, cover their ears, whatever you like. This is how it's written. We have to say it how it is. Can someone please tell me why the fuck the car boot at Sainsbury's is a ridiculous £5 entry fee per person before 9 a.m, then drops to £1 per person after 9 a.m? Absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. It's a scam. Angry face. Yeah, sound. Let the traders get in first before anyone, so nothing good is left. And then 2 middle finger up emojis. People lose their shit about this stuff. This early bird buy. This is all about the early bird £5 entry at Real Car Boots, basically. So let me go back to some of the comments. So I'm going to scroll through some of this. Give me some opinions in the chat as we go along here, and I'll come back to you when I've finished. But there's some mental comments, and you get the usual stuff. All the best buys are gone within half an hour. They just cater for dealers or the public willing to pay extra. All the rest of us who pay our quid have to walk around looking at junk. That's what Jim says. Liz says, yep, and think we're idiots to fall for it, like most, trying to squeeze us for what they can get. John says, if the weather isn't very good and not a lot of traders on, they've let people in early for £1. Why not charge £5 up to 8 o'clock and then £1 afterwards? Or is that not greedy enough? That's what John said. Let's see what else we got. Kim says some people go on early as they want the best stuff first, hence a £5 charge. And the people who run it have got onto it and making extra money. Bugsy says, I don't think you should be charged to go and look at the traders. It's like a shop charging you £1 to walk in and have a look to buy something. It's not really like that at all, is it? It's not like that. What I don't understand, right? Like, I'm not against the early bird at all. As a reseller, I will pay the early bird because I want to go in and I want to find things that are going to help me pay my bills and pay my mortgage and all the rest of it. I'm a full-time reseller. That's what I do. So I'm definitely not against the early bird. But what people don't realize is that these car boots are almost 99% a private enterprise. Sometimes they're council run, sometimes charity run. But I would say probably 95% private enterprise. It's a business. This is someone's livelihood. And a car boot sale is an event. It is not a public service. People are not entitled to walk around there for free. Somebody has to pay a license to run the event. They have to pay the council. Sometimes you have to pay per stall. So if someone charges £10 for a stall at a boot sale, some councils will take £5 of that £10 for a license fee. That's mental, right? They have staff to pay. They have insurances to pay. Sometimes they might have to rent the land to put the car boot sale on. There's a lot of costs involved. And it is like any event. If somebody puts a car show on, like Stephen Larner in the chat, go to a mini show, and if they charge a £5 to get in, I don't know if they do or not. They might do. 1 or 2 might charge you to get in. And that's because it's a privately run event. If you don't want to go, don't go. Who's forcing you to pay £5 to get in? It's not a public service. A car boot sale is not an entitlement for somebody to walk in. Why do people feel entitled? If you don't like the price, don't pay it. If you don't like the YouTube channel, don't watch it. Nobody forces anybody to do anything. Some of these comments are just crazy. Emily did have a great comment to make, because Emily said, because ultimately it's a business, not a service. Well done, Emily. Finally, someone said it right. But Morgan, the original poster, says, it doesn't justify the price to get in. Like a comment I just saw, it's like charging a fiver to get into Poundland. No, it's not. It's not like charging it's not anything like charging a fiver to get into Poundland. And if Poundland did start charging a fiver, they're a business, they're entitled to charge, but also as a customer, you're entitled not to go in and pay a fiver to get in. Oh my God. Let's see what else we got here. William said it should be free to go in instead of lining someone's pocket. I wonder where it all goes. Hopefully to charity. No. This is someone's business and somebody's livelihood. If they want to charge £5 to get in, you take it or leave it. Leave it. Why? Let's explore that a minute. Why should it be free to get in a car boot sale? Somebody in the chat, I'm open to an argument, not an argument. I'm not going to argue with anybody. I'm open to a discussion here. If somebody in the chat, if one of you think all car boots should be free to get in, put it in the chat and tell me why, because am I missing something in this argument that I should be considering? Honestly, am I missing something? Because I don't see why it should be free to get into any event when there's expenses to be paid and people's wages to be run. I don't understand it. Why do people feel entitled for it to be free? Stan says nobody has to go. Choice, surely. If lots don't go, maybe policy would change. It's never going to change. Never. If anything, I see it getting more expensive to get in on that early bird. I see it going up to £7 next year, something like that. Peter says actually, it's Peter Jones. I wonder if it's the real Peter Jones. Peter says they would have to pay me to enter. Why pay £5 to look at a load of crap? Oh my God. Why pay £5 to look at a load of crap? I literally pay my mortgage on that crap that I pay £5 to go and buy. I pay my mortgage on that stuff. Oh my God. Dean says business is business. Very good comment, Dean. Very, very well put. Oh, sale. Sold some Disney pins for £50. That's a nice sale for the evening. Let's have a look. Paula says maybe it's £5 to get in to help towards sellers paying tax on their earnings. Now, whenever you start a discussion about car boot sales, someone always wades in with the tax question, don't they? It's like, are these people paying taxes and all this nonsense? So I don't even know why the early bird entry fee even comes into the whole tax thing. Martin says, there's always someone who tries to wind someone up here. Martin says, don't go if it's going to make you cry like this. This is why I'm saying get your popcorn. Idwell says, I would never pay to go to any car boot. I agree. Everything good's gone and all that's left is rubbish. And these comments just go on and on and on. Some people wade in and give suggestions of other car boot sales to go to, which is interesting. Michelle says, simple. Everyone boycott it. Soon change their practices. Okay. Yeah. They're definitely going to change because Michelle has boycotted it or started a petition. Jonty says, oh my God, that's horrible. I can't believe they forced you to go there and pay that. And June, who just wades in with a completely different argument, like people just come in with completely different arguments on these things. June says, what's also a joke is they state no dogs, but yet I counted 12 dogs. Can you imagine? June is walking around the boot sale, right? she's got a pen out and she's making little tally marks on her hand. Like one, when you do tally marks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a dash through the middle, that's a 5. So she's walking around the boot sale with her pen. Oh, there's a little dash hound. 1, Labrador, 2. Oof, that's 12. That's 12 dogs at this car boot sale, and there's no dogs allowed. That's not even the argument. Mario said it's greed. It's basically just greed. David says car boot is the same as a flea market, and you don't pay to enter them. Well, I think maybe some flea markets you do pay to enter. People are paying to look around someone else's rubbish. Okay. If only you knew the treasures and gems that lay in that car boot sale. Oh, Mike has got a sweeping comment here. Ouch, he says. I wouldn't bother. It goes against all car boot ethics. Wow. Wow. It goes against all car boot ethics. In Cheshire, the car boots are £5 a car and £1 entry. And I'm assuming they have a roll down of higher value things to sell. God almighty. God help us all. These are people that get to vote. Scott says, this is ridiculous. Car boots should still be free. Why? Why should car boots be free? Right, listen. I know a lot of people get annoyed with early bird, £5. Some are £8. I've paid £8 before for early bird. But we have to support car boots. They have to make money. If they don't make money, they don't survive. And that's when when a car boot sale suddenly announces they're closing forever because they can't afford to run the car boot anymore. That's why. Because the charges that they're having to do, their expenses are too high. They can't make money. We have to support car boots if we want to keep buying at them. If you guys buy at a boot sale and make profit from the items you buy there, keep supporting them. And they'll keep running. They have to make profit. It's like me and you, we have to make profit to pay our bills. They also have to everyone has to make some profit somewhere along the line. That's how business works. Car boots should not necessarily be free. If a particular car boot sale that you go to is free to get in and they charge a certain amount for stalls, etc., that's fine. That's great. If that's their business model and that works for them, amazing. I've been to loads of car boot sales that are free to get in. Love it. Great stuff. Maybe they'll charge £1 or £2 to park your car. Whatever. Every car boot has a different business model based on their level of expenses that they need to cover. Whatever happens, if you make money out of a car boot sale, make sure you support it. Don't complain. And to be fair, I don't think most of these people are resellers. In fact, none of them are going to be resellers. But it's interesting to see it. All these comments from an outside perspective. People who are not resellers, but people who just see a charge being made for something and they don't think it's right, but they don't see the big picture. Chris has got a comment here. Is it because it's owned by a bunch of Tories? I'm going to leave it there. There is over 115 comments on here. And it's absolutely hilarious. I'm so tempted to go in there and comment and say to people, my £5 entry pays my mortgage. I'm so close. I'm so close to going in and just writing that and just lighting the touch paper and letting it go, because it would be funny. I mean, let's say it would be funny. But I do think like every car boot sale has a different business model. Some are free and some are not. And just because they charge for you to get in, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't pay it. As a reseller, I always pay the early bird. I see no sense really in not paying that early bird. Get in there early, pay a fiver. If you buy 20 items, you can split that £5 cost, if you really want to be pedantic, across those 20 items. And, each one costs an extra, what does that make it? An extra 25p. That makes you your £5 back, doesn't it? So instead of paying £1 for that item, you've actually paid £1.25 because of the £5 entry fee. Anyway, let me go back and look at the comments now. You know what I'm like? When I get into a not a rant, when I get into my vibe of talking about a subject, I like to get it off my chest, and then I'll come back to you guys. Let's see. There's a lot of comments. Right. Where are we up to? There we go. There we go. Where's there? Resell for rescue. Andrew Moriarty said, Andy goes to Rel as well. So he knows exactly what I'm talking about here. Andy, I see him almost every time I'm at Rel. We say hello and we chat. Stall holder on Saturday said dealers shouldn't be allowed in until after 9. Okay. I don't have a problem with that either, by the way. If everybody is told to wait until a certain time and they rope it off and they say, okay, no one gets in until X, Y, Z, I don't have a problem with that either. If that's the way a boot sale wants to run. Peacock Meadow in Plimpton, which is near Plymouth. Peacock Meadow car boot operate like that. They put a rope across, you queue up, you wait until the horn, and then you go. And there's no charge there. Oh no, I think there's a charge to park, but there's no charge to actually get into the boot sale, so to speak. You could literally walk in off the street, and I think it would be free there. But that's the way they work it. So everyone's different. Also, it depends a lot on the land. It depends if they own the land or not, or if they've got a deal with the landowner, because that can be a big profit suck as well. I know, Dan, isn't it? Life's way too short, isn't it? It's just commerce. It's what we do. Exactly. It's a business model, and you take it or leave it. Oh, you guys are funny. Facebook groups are wild. I swear most of these people would never speak to somebody face to face like this. Soph says, there wasn't an early bird at Cheltenham car boot until last year. I don't pay it as most people still setting up and people still driving in after 8 a.m. Actually better paying £1 at what's that? Cheltenham. You don't pay it. I would always just pay the early bird. Just pay it. Get in there early. Just because I'm in there early, it doesn't mean I'm in people's boots. I never go into people's boots. I never mither people. Some people do. I see it, but I don't. I'm often when the new cars come in, I'm often on a different aisle when that's happening because everybody swarms to those new cars. But what they're not doing is looking at stuff that's still coming out of boots and still being set up on another aisle. And I find I get a lot of stuff like that. Like, yeah, okay, maybe I miss out on some stuff that I could grab, like with a scrum like everybody else. But also, I'm also gaining on another aisle when sometimes you can be walking down another aisle. There's not a soul on it apart from you. You've got free reign because everyone's at the new cars. So you get free reign on another aisle. And that's what I tend to do. Deborah says, if you want the pick of the best stock, pay to go in. Simple as. Absolutely. High vis for early birds. Can you imagine? Oh, Swamp Picker in Louisiana said, I paid $20 to a church to get in early. Had it all to myself for 30 minutes. I tell you what, Swamp Picker, I'd have paid it as well. If they'd have said to me, you can come in early on your own or with just one or two people, you can come in early, have the place to yourself. I'd pay $20. I would pay that. Definitely would. Irrational, that is it. Early bird prices are usually higher. Later on, they start dropping prices. So they don't have to bring stuff home. That's a good point, that, actually. Yeah, they do. I'd still rather be in early, and I don't mind paying up if it's a good item. And definitely you'd pay a premium on stuff because they know pretty much that you're a dealer. You're walking around with IKEA bags and trolleys and all sorts. They know you're a dealer. They know you're going to buy to resell. So you do pay a premium, but you get the premium stock as well. I can see both sides. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, don't forget, like and subscribe. When I'm on a good rant, I can go on a good rant. I really can. Guys can see both sides. Yeah, fair dues, fair dues. I appreciate both sides, but obviously I'm coming from a reseller point of view. So a lot of those people in that Facebook group, in fact, almost all of them, were just Joe Public, just wanting to come to a car boot sale. Most of them want to go in for free. And I don't see that. I really don't see, unless a boot sales policy is it's free to get in and they're okay with that and they can make money with that, that's fine. But if their policy is they want to charge, that's their policy. Live by it or don't. Oh, thank you, Swamp Picker. Bargain Hunter, I personally paid a £5 early bird as it's well worth it in my opinion. It's only a £5 like buying a butty or a couple of brews. Absolutely, yeah. Totally. I do not mind paying that early bird. See, really, you get 2 hours with that early bird fiver. 2 hours. It's a good amount of time. It's a good amount of time to have a good wander around. Yeah, totally. Swamp Picker, I wish I had them here in the US car boot sales. Well, you have flea markets, though, don't you? Do you have many flea markets around you? It's kind of a similar thing, very similar, only the car boot sales, you literally rock up with your car, open the doors, pull out a load of, I won't say crap because I buy it and pay my mortgage with it, pull out a load of goods, quality merchandise, put it on a table in front of the car and sell from that. It's pretty much the same as a flea market, more or less. Only a flea market always gives connotations of dealers, of being professional sellers. Car boot sales, normally a car boot sale is like just normal people just rocking up. They might only do one in a year or 2 or 3 in a year, just clearing out stuff from their house. And that's sometimes a bit of a difference with a flea market. Flea market sometimes is seen as being more professional sellers, if you know what I mean. But maybe it's different in the US. Site insurance is expensive. Yep. Security, local authority. Yeah. York is free at entry after 7. So it's just dealers who go in earlier. The organisers make the money from the stall holders. The landowner has to buy insurance and a license to car boots on their land. Absolutely. Yeah. It's crazy that private land, most councils, not all, but a lot of councils in the UK require you to get a license to hold a car boot sale, even if it's on private land. Like if I went to a local farmer and said, can I do a boot sale on your land? We'll come to an agreement on price. And he says, yes. I still got to go to the council, even though it's fuck all to do with them. It's fuck all to do with the council. Why are they getting in on this deal? It's bollocks to do with them. The only issue that it could possibly bring is traffic. Can't really see much other issue. Traffic, the sale of illegal merchandise, fakes, cigarettes, stuff like alcohol, the sale of prohibited items. So I guess that yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I've talked myself out of that one. But you know what I mean? If it's private land, why are the council muscling in on this deal? Piss off. Sorry, I didn't give you a pre-warning there. Ian said, if I was paying £5, I'd want to see a guaranteed fight. Oh, yes, you do. Yeah. You always pay a fee to set up at a car boot sale. It can be anything from normally the lowest I've seen is probably £5. up to anything like 20-25 pounds. Sometimes if it's a mega like busy boot, and if you've got a van, it's normally more. So it can go up to like 30 pound, probably the maximum. Like if you've got a transit van, maybe it's 20-30 pound to set up at a boot sale. Depends. It can be different days, can be different amounts. Like Saturday can be cheaper than Sundays, blah 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 blah. But yeah, you pay to set up. Most of the time you pay to get in. Sometimes you might pay for parking, that kind of thing. June's middle name is Karen. Is this a new weekly segment? I don't think so. I saw it and I thought, that's it. That's tomorrow night's subject, done and dusted. Thank you very much. Deborah says, if I could pay £20 to get in earlier than the early buyers, I would. That's interesting, Deborah, isn't it? Can you imagine? You've got the early... Right, let's talk about Rill, because that's what we're talking about. Rill car boot sale. I think it's 6:30, early bird entry. Basically, the early bird entry, exactly the same time as sellers, which is 6:30. I tend to get there about 7 o'clock. 6:30 is too early. Literally, you've got like 3 cars in there at 6:30. 7 o'clock, you've got a couple of rows done and you're ready to go. So if you ever come in this way, 7 o'clock at Rill. Can you imagine 6:30 is the early bird? No, let's change it because there'd be no point coming before the early birds. So let's say between 6:30 and 7:30 is early bird. That's £20. And then 7:30 to 9 o'clock is £5, just early bird. And then 9 o'clock, £1 to get in. And then if you rock up at 11 o'clock with 1 hour left to go, it's free. Just come in. That'd be complicated, wouldn't it? But it'd be interesting to see who would pay. Put your hand up in the chat if you would pay £20 to get in before the early birds, like a mental cheap early, not cheap, but a mentally early time that no one else is allowed in, but it will cost you £20 for the privilege. Put your hands up if you do it. Animal Fact says if they didn't charge the buyers an entry fee, then they would have to increase the seller charge. Yeah, it's a fine line. I don't think it's easy. It's not easy running a car boot sale. And actually, for my last charity, I used to run an indoor car boot sale. And it is definitely not easy to run one. And there's lots of hidden costs involved. Lots. Things that you don't even think about. Dig Vintage says free might be a good business sense for a car boot. More punters, more sales for sellers, more stall holder fees for the boot organisers. Possibly. Yeah, that's a fair point. I guess it depends on what their ratio is. Like, how many buyers do they averagely get through the door? How much do they need to break even? It's got to be it's all going to be based around a business decision, isn't it? How much do we need to make some money out of this boot sale and pay everyone's wages and stuff like that? You know, what's the break even point? And how many people do we get through the door on average? Do we even count it? You know, I bet most car boot sales don't even have a clicker to count how many are coming in. Yeah, it's interesting though. Good point. York Racecourse charges for early sellers. Early sellers. Yeah, Rill do as well. Rill have 2 seller charges. If you get there super early and capture the early birds, there's also a little bit of an extra charge. I think it's an extra £2 to come in at that time and sell. Whereas if you wait to a bit later, it's a little bit cheaper. It's weird. It is a bit of a weird way of doing it. Zebu, great point. It's not that deep. 1 item gets you your entry fee back. And Tam tells it how it is. Do it, type it in. I don't know. No, I don't want to do it. I just don't. It will take up loads of my time. People will reply. People will hate on it. And then somebody will see me at Rill and they'll call me a wanker or something. As if that'd happen. I mean, that'd be a terrible thing to happen, wouldn't it? Yeah, if car boots should be free, try and organise one for you. It's not. It can't be done. It's not going to be. It's not going to happen. Really. Let's face it. I've been there and done it. It is very difficult. It's not easy. Fix it. Frida's watching. Why are you not in bed, Frida? Everybody has to make money, even the poor sods selling on the beaches. Selling on the beaches? What bloody beaches you been going to? That's the way the system works. If you've got anything about you, live and let live, and pay your way. There you go. Some wise words from Fix It Frida. Great rant. Let's see what else we got on the chat before we finish up for the night. Pink Panther, I'm a seller on car boots. My local council wanted to charge me £35 for a stall. I paid £10 on my boot sale bargain. It's crazy, isn't it? Is that to go on like a council market? They're ridiculous prices, the markets, aren't they? Yeah, that's true. The boot climbing zombies. Yeah, they do give people boot sales a bad name. I always avoid the crowds. I walk away and have free run on another aisle. Definitely. How about an early bird duck race deal? £5 and your duck gets a 30-second head start. I think that might be a good idea, Jeff. I'm up for that. Everyone's got to make a bit of money, right? Flea markets are not so good for the swamp picker. I think Jeff's flea markets are all right in North Carolina, in Raleigh. Another hidden cost. Toilets. Hired, paid for, emptied, slooshed, cleaned, whatever. Even having the grass cut can cost you. Like when the grass grows too long and you've got to have it cut before you boot sell, that could be a hidden cost. Who knows? It's bloody stupid, isn't it? It's absolutely stupid, though, still. There are some councils who don't get involved in boot sales. If you have it on private land, they're not interested. But, yeah, obviously you can't call on them for anything. Dipping pays 15 for a transit. Yeah, well, I think that's probably about average for a van, isn't it? Secret Carper would pay more than £20. Imagine what you'd get. You'd get all the gaming stuff, wouldn't you? Mind you, the gaming people would go in, wouldn't they, and pay £20. Hand up from Bargain Hunter. Is the local football club called Real Madrid? Yes. Yeah. It's been like bloody Madrid here the last couple of weeks. Bloody boiling, as you can tell. I've got me. I'm still continuing my Tunisian tan. Set alarm for 2 a.m. Might as well just camp over. Yeah, but you can't know. It's a gamble, Swampy. It's a gamble. It's like anything. You can't know. If you know, that's cheating. You can't know. That's very true as well, Pink Panther. Totally. People just browsing for a morning out. They're definitely not looking for the same things as us resellers. That's a fact. It's not that deep. Totally. Yeah, it's a good one, that. Was it Zebu who said that? It's not that deep. Shabba says the big Stockport car boot is free to get in, although they do say come after 8 a.m. They allow both buyers and sellers in beforehand to improve the flow of traffic, but they are learning. Yeah, I think a lot do that. Lee says paying 20 quid would be silly for me as I don't know enough about enough to get the good stuff. Fair enough. Yeah. I was just asking the question. You never know. There's a few people that would and a few that wouldn't. Yep. Send it now, Deborah, and I will give you a little head start, but it's a gamble. I cannot guarantee a victory. What about micro boots, less than 4 stalls? Can that be classed as a boot sale? 4 stalls? Oh, Jeff says the rally market, as it's now known, they've dropped the flea a few years back. Has been in decline, but I still go every week. FOMO. Yeah, we all know about FOMO. Yeah, public liability. Yeah. I'm going to do it this week, Chris. That's a good point to end the discussion. If you didn't know, I'm giving away a Killer Clowns hoodie. What you need to do is go back on the channel and watch the Comic Con video that I made. And in that video, there's instructions on how to enter the draw for an amazing Killer Clowns from Outer Space hoodie that I wear in that video when I went to Comic Con in Liverpool. And yeah, if you want to be in it, I'm only going to give it a couple more days and then I'm going to draw it. I'll probably record it or something so that you know that I'm not cheating. I'll put the names in who have qualified because there's a specific thing you need to do to qualify. But you will have to watch that video in order to know what that is. You won't be able to do it by just looking at other people's comments. It's not as easy as that. So go back, look for the Comic-Con video, enter via the instructions that I give in that video, and you could win a Killer Clowns from Outer Space hoodie. It's going to be the 162nd duck race, 162. Thank you, Jeff. That's not true, David, actually. It all depends on the council. Which council? Some councils do not require any license. But from my experience, when I was setting up car boot sales back in Tameside, and I was actually at that point, that was before properly, I was just reselling on a part-time basis at that point. I was considering like setting up regular car boot sales and being a car boot sale organizer and doing Saturday and Sunday car boots in different locations. But you know what Tameside Council wanted? They wanted, even though it was on private land, you had to have a license, a market license. And the cost of that license was 50% of your stall takings. 50%. So if I charged £10 for a stall, they wanted £5 of that 10 as part of their market license. So if we had 100 stalls, they'd take 500 quid off you. They'd take half your money, plus a admin fee as well for every single event. Every single event. And it just wasn't financially viable because you'd have to charge too much to make it viable. So it all depends, David, on the council. Your local council might not charge, depending on where you are and what their rules are, what their market license rules are, and then what their car boot sale rules are. But all the ones I looked at Derbyshire, Tameside, Cheshire, and some of the greater Manchester boroughs. And I didn't find one that didn't charge you a license. It was mental. I don't think you get away with it, David. We looked at all this. The problem is you start a boot sale and you put a shitload of money in, and then the council turn up and shut you down. That's your business done, isn't it? It's much better to work with a council. If there's a license needed, it's much better to just get the license as long as it's affordable. There's absolutely no way that I would attempt to start up a big car boot sale without trying to get the appropriate license, or I wouldn't try and use a loophole, because that will come back and bite you in the bum. And if that's your business and you put a lot of money into it, you don't want to risk that. I wouldn't risk it. There are some councils, should I say, that don't charge a market license fee. There you go. Pink Panther says Wolverhampton charge £40 a month for a license. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, don't know. Maybe they'd send people down to have a count up. Maybe they'd come down. Yeah, it's always good to look for a loophole, but when it's your business, it's just not worth it. Also, you really, right, if you think about it, and I know I've complained about the councils taking the money, but you kind of want them on side as well because you don't know when you might need them. If you're running a boot sale, if you've got a problem on your boot sale, like if you've got if you've got a traffic issue, the thing that you can't account for when you run a public event is the actions of members of the public. You can't account for that and you can't control it. You can try, but people do some weird stuff. Sometimes people will park in weird places just to get away from paying £1 to park. I've seen it when I used to organize one. You'd have people parking on a roundabout. You'd have people like, literally, I'm going to park on this roundabout. What a great idea that is. Just so I don't have to pay £1 to get in. Or I'm going to block people's drives because I don't give a shit about people who have to come and go to work. I'm just going to park here across someone's drive just so I don't have to pay to get in. And that's the thing. When members of the public are involved, you can't control them. Someone might have a fight. We've seen that a million times. In your car boot sale, someone might have a fight. You might have to call the police. Then the police call the council. And then someone calls an ambulance. Before you know it, it's on the agenda at a council meeting. And then they're sending trading standards down to try and catch people selling vapes. And when they find that people are selling vapes, well, it's your responsibility as the car boot seller organizer because you've not told people they're not allowed to sell vapes. Or, you've got all these weird things that happen when you deal with members of the public. Most people are great, but the problem with finding a loophole, this is what I'm saying, David. I appreciate finding a loophole, but you don't know when you might need them on side. It's better to have them on side, isn't it? It's better to say, I want to work with you. Help us promote it. Put it in your publications. Can I put posters up in your headquarters? Can I do this and that? Can you tweet about it? Can you put it on your Facebook page? If you're paying a license fee, they might help you promote it as well. So there is positives. And I know I said before, why the fucking council getting involved and taking a slice of the pie? I guess I'll backtrack a bit on that and say it's probably better to have them on side. Anyway, this has been fun. This has been fun talking about this. Let's say a big thank you to all of our VIP members here. If you want to come and join our Discord, you need to come and join the VIP. It's $2.99 a month. It's less than a coffee. It's less than most boot sales entry fees are. And it's only a small proportion of an early bird fee. So $2.99, and it's a nice investment because you get to come and join this happy bunch of people in our Discord and chat about weird things like AI, how you can sell stuff using AI, and what else have we been talking about this week? Wholesale suppliers, clothing. Is it worth going to wholesale clothing suppliers? We've been chatting about that this week. Lots of things. If you've got a problem, you can talk about it in the Discord. If you want to join, it's $2.99 a month. Like I say, it's cheaper than having a stall at a boot sale. Let's get down because we've got the duck race to come. Stick around for the duck race, guys. Car boots have always been a tax-free loophole, hence why I'm making it more difficult. Yeah, a lot of people. A lot of the time, that's why people moan about us filming at boot sales because they're worried about the tax man sitting there all day watching car boot videos. Okay. Deborah said, it's been great because I could join in as I'm not an eBayer. Made a nice change for me, Chris. You can always join in. You can always give an opinion, even if it's not backed up with your experience. It's nice to hear opinions from people who are not always on the eBay scene or a reseller, stuff like that. It's nice to hear other opinions. Tried twice, seems to be a problem in my account. That's weird, David. That is weird. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate the shout out, and thank you to everybody. Thank you to all our VIP members. I really do appreciate you being there. It is very good of you, and I hope you get your value for money out of that Discord. Right, what have we got coming up? Coming up this week, I'm hoping to do a Whatnot show this week. So watch this space. I'm thinking about doing one later in the week. I'm hoping Belle's going to be up to helping me out. Maybe Wednesday. I've definitely got enough stock to do a Whatnot. I'm not sure whether to do Disney T-shirts or to do a normal sort of a normal kind of collectible show. I've got enough of either, so I could do either. And then there'll be another boot sale video out of the weekend. I am going to make a video. I might film it this week. I've got a mystery box unboxing to do. Has anybody seen Becky's Bazaar on Instagram, TikTok, and stuff? She's unboxed from the company Unboxing Heaven before now. Have you seen Becky's Bazaar unboxing stuff from Unboxing Heaven? That stuff sells out really quick. Those boxes, it's like within minutes they sell out. You have to wait another week. And I finally got my hands on 2 boxes from Unboxing Heaven, and I'm going to unbox them. And I'm going to see if it's any good. Becky's Bazaar's done them in the past, and it's always looked decent. But, well, let's see. So I'm going to do that. And also I'm going to make a video on how ChatGPT is basically like running my life for me right now. My business, my life. I ask it everything. I probably talk to ChatGPT more than I do to Belle. That's pretty much how it is. So I'm going to make a video on that. All the things that I'm using ChatGPT for, especially business-wise. Like, what's it useful for? What am I actually getting out of it? So yeah, look out for that one. That's coming soon. I'm not sure I'm going to have time to film it this week, but I'm going to try. Remember what's on this week. United have a huge following. Could be quite. Oh, is it the final? Okay, I might have to do Thursday then. I think that's it. Let's get to the duck race. Let's go to the duck race. Are we ready for this? Right. Yeah, green. Going. Duck race there. Are we on? We don't want to not broadcast it for everyone to see like we have done in the past. My voice is nearly going here, so I might not even get through this. Uh, 2 minutes on the clock. 48 ducks in the race. It's a mystery prize. Oh, by the way, before we start this, last week, Jeff, who won last week's duck race, Jeff? Because that prize has gone unclaimed. I've not had any message about last week's duck race. I can't remember who won it, but can you look it up, Jeff? And I'm happy to give them till the end of tonight to contact me. Just look it up for me, Jeff, when you get a second. Right. I've lost where I'm up to. Where's the duck race gone? Shuffle. We'll shuffle one more time for luck. Here we go. The duck race is off. It's duck race number 162. And who's off at the start? Emsden UK takes an early lead with the red star duck. Jamie D is close as well. Emsden have dropped off pretty quick. Carol McDonald's up there with a naked duck. We've also got, I can't read anybody's names. Linlin, I can see Linlin's name as Super Duck. Kez TV's leading with a naked duck now. It's all pretty close at the front. Shabba's up there. Lemony Sugget's up there. Who else? Deb Sardine, Cavalis. Cavalis takes the lead now at the top with a naked duck. It's all naked ducks tonight. If you've got a naked duck, I would suggest you've got a very, very good chance of winning this duck race tonight. Jamie D's come back again. We've got Zest now taking the lead. Zest 29 in the lead with just over a minute left. The crazy's life. And Zest is holding a bit of a lead here, actually. He's been there for a good 10 seconds in the lead. Who else have we got? We've got Pitco as well. Pitco with the unicorn duck. Brett Holt's up there. Dorothy Watkinson. The crazy's life as well. Zest is still holding his place towards the front of the pack. Let's have a look towards the back. We've got Phoenix, Lazy Jane, Mark Hill, Nothing Major, Dorothy Watkinson, AMPR, all floundering. Chris Tyler's lost it. Chris is going out the back of the pack. Brett Holt now leads with the purple duck. 30 seconds on the clock. Richard Payne close at the bottom. Sarah B. Sarah B's leading with a naked duck. And we're starting to get two ducks leading here, neck and neck at the front. Nope, those two have gone. We've got no idea now. 15 seconds to go. The pack has split. Who knows who's going to win this? Vinyl Nutter, Richard Payne, Hoofs and Puffs, all close. No, they've gone now. Zest 29, he's backing off. Someone's going to come out of nowhere to win this race. Pitco with the unicorn wins it. Pitco wins the race. Unicorn duck. Nobody actually seemed to want to go and win that race. So Pitco decided, you know what? I'm going to take this. I'm having it. Get in there. Pitco wins. Bumcrack Pickers in. Welcome, Bumcrack. Let me turn this bloody music off. It's pulling my head in. Shut up. I go to bed dreaming of that music. Duck race. Let me shut that down. Shut up. Right. Let's just nip back a bit. Ready, Steady, Retro. I've not had any message from you, Ready, Steady, Retro. I'll have another look. If I've missed it, don't worry. I will get it out to you. If you want to join the duck race, all you got to do is after the show finishes tonight, just make a comment on this video. So once it's finished broadcasting live, come back to the recording, make a comment, any comment you like, and that will get you into next week's duck race. Batman duck. Yeah, that's it. Just make a comment when the show's finished. Come back. That will get you into next week's. Bumcrack, thank you. Thank you for that. If you want to enter the Killer Clowns hoodie giveaway, there's the video. Just click on that. Go watch it. It's got to be a very specific type of entry. So don't just make any comment. I will know if you've followed the instructions. I will know. Oh, and thank you for that as well, Bumcracker. Been lurking tonight, haven't you? I was lurking, yeah. Yeah, I've not seen any message. I will check again. Matt, has anyone else's Facebook Messenger been playing up? What happens with mine is, and it doesn't matter how many times I update it, I've got my personal Facebook Messenger and I've got my Car Boot Chris Facebook Messenger. When I switch messengers, like I go over to Car Boot Chris and I open my messages there, it doesn't let me switch back. I have to uninstall the app, reinstall it, and start again. It's proper annoying. That might be why I've not seen it Ready Steady, because it's been annoying me lately how I can't get back into my messenger. Kind of crashes each time I change. Pitco, you've won the duck race. Please send me a message, Pitco. I'll get a prize out to you. It's a mystery prize. All right, before we finish, I've got one of our amazing reselling factoids coming up. An amazing factoid coming up for you. Let me just find it, because as it did before, it's gone off my screen. Saved it as well. Okay. Oh, David, yeah. It's weird. It's weird. Yeah, my Facebook Messenger's proper playing up. As soon as I switch profiles, it doesn't let me come back. I have to uninstall and go back in. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Tonight, before we finish, tonight's factoid coming up right now. If I can find the thing, where's it gone? I just want to be ready to end it. I'm going to be sharp tonight. Sharp. Okay. A seller unknowingly flogged a vintage pair of Apple trainers. Have you ever heard of Apple trainers? And we're talking about Apple, the company trainers. They were only given to staff in the 90s. And this seller sold a pair of Apple trainers for £5. They're now worth over £30,000. Now, just to give you a bit of a background, just if you get time, because you don't want to miss these at a boot sale, go and Google Apple 90s trainers and you'll see what they look like, because you don't want to pass these by if you see them at a boot sale. So in the early 1990s, Apple produced a limited run of sneakers exclusively for their employees. These white leather trainers, crafted by Omega Sports, predominantly feature the vintage rainbow Apple logo on both the tongue and the side. They were never made available to the public, making them exceptionally rare. One notable pair was discovered at a garage sale in Palo Alto in California in 2016. Initially sold for a modest sum, the pair later caught the attention of collectors and was auctioned by Heritage Auctions, fetching nearly $10,000. And another pristine pair surfaced at Sotheby's, listed at a staggering $50,000. So these sneakers have become a coveted item among collectors, symbolizing a unique intersection of tech history and fashion. Their rarity and the story behind them make them stand out, and they're an example of how unexpected treasures can emerge in the reselling world. Look out for those Apple trainers.